Good afternoon and welcome everyone to this YCC Technical Assistance webinar. Today we're going to be reviewing some of the basics of YCC program in our new to YCC orientation. So I'm going to turn it over to Maisha Memager, who's going to be starting off today presenting.
Thank you so much, Angela. Hi, everybody. Hope you're ready to see me. Welcome to our webinar. Most of you on this webinar who are invited, we're encouraged to join us, are new to YCC. So you are newly hired, or you just need a refresher on YCC programming. So Angela's popped up a poll right now that just asks you a question: how long have you been working on the YCC program? So at this time, you can take that poll at your earliest convenience. Angela, get started right now. Correct? Oh, Angela wants me to keep talking. So while Angela gets that poll ready, I'm just going to go over some overview pieces. I have about 30 minutes to get through all this good information. So please note that these slides are going to be available for you after this webinar. It's going to be recorded. And also, we have a longer 90-minute recording that we did last year, actually almost 2 years ago, for the original YCC Grantees when they first got their funds around May of 2014. So therefore, if I rush through something or I'm kind of talking very fast, of course, raise your hand, slow me down. But I'm not going to go into great detail about each slide, just to kind of give you guys an overview of YCC programming. Always remember, you can ask questions in our Q&A box, and Angela will keep me, and Renee Brown, who is my colleague, who will be talking about some of the performance pieces. They'll keep us updated on those questions that are coming in. So basically, folks are voting great. I'm glad the poll is now open. And so many of you guys have only been a part of the YCC program for less than 3 months. Welcome to YCC Youth CareerConnect. We're so excited to have you, and we're excited to help you out and provide any technical assistance you may need so that your component and that your schools are successful with this grant funding. So let's get back to it. Right now, this is our team, who we are. We're made up of national offices here in D.C. We have federal project officers. Many of you have probably had contact with those. We have contact with those people who help you there in the regions. We have 6 regions, and your federal project office was assigned based on your region. We have partnership with the Department of Education, and we also have our TA coaches. And we're going to kind of go over all these components in this webinar. Again, many of you guys came to the conference this summer. You met many of us. Our national program team is made up of those wonderful people there on the left. You also have a grant officer, who's Melissa Abdullah. She makes sure that the money is spent properly and things are done in decency and in order. And most likely the financial people will be in contact with Melissa if there needs to be a modification to the grant, if things need to change, if a budget change needs to happen, Melissa will be that person in contact. We also have an evaluation officer, who is Molly Irwin. She's helping us do 2 different evaluations for this grant, and a lot of times when you listen to Molly or you hear about Mathematica, they're doing an evaluation. One is a random assignment, and the other is just a general evaluation of YCC. We have our FPOs in the regions. Really quickly, when YCC was awarded, it was a partnership between Department of Labor and Department of Education, again, to use H-1B funding to help redesign or restructure high school educational delivery. And our partners are with the Department of Education, and we do work hand in hand with them. We've had several different variations of turnover of different people, but we do still have contacts at the Department of Education where we call on them for their expertise to help us with any guidelines we need to provide you guys. FERPA was a big, huge piece of that. We didn't understand what FERPA was on our end at Labor, but our colleagues at Education were able to help us understand that better and give training on that throughout the year. So we still do work very closely with our Department of Education partners. Really quickly, we do have technical assistance for you all. We have a couple $1 million contract that was awarded to high-impact partners. Angela, our colleague here, is one of those persons that are our contractors who help us very immensely on day-to-day activities regarding our technical assistance. She sends out all our emails, all our newsletters. She helps put this wonderful webinars together and helps us with the one-pager. So Angela is a major part of that. And this is very important because a lot of grants, believe it or not, don't get a technical assistance contract to really help provide coaches to you all. And many of you probably have met with your coach. We have 6 coaches that have broken up the 24 grants. Each of them have between 4 and 6 grantees, and basically they work with you guys to make sure that your grant is doing well. Again, like our technical assistance coaches, they want you to be successful. We too at Labor want you to be successful. We are not here, or neither are the FPOs here, to find anything on you or to make you guys look bad. We are here to make you hopefully help you be successful, because this is federal taxpayer dollars, and we have to be accountable for those dollars, and so do you. So when you guys look good and do well and have wonderful outcomes and our young people are doing well, we look good as well. We want to make sure that in the process of this 4 years that we have together, that if you have any hiccups or any problems, any challenges, that we address them immediately and that we rectify them, so that, again, when the final report comes out on this wonderful grant, you have everything that you need to be successful, and that we can report that out to whether it be Congress, who may want those numbers, or any other person who's a taxpayer may want to know what we did with our funds. Really quickly, in order for you to be successful, you may need some technical assistance. Again, you are probably already having regular meetings, monthly calls with your coaches. However, if the coach is unable to answer or address a question because it may be out of their purview, it may be a fiscal question, it may be a grants management question, you are to request additional technical assistance from the national office. And how you do that is, of course, you go to your program director first. That person may be the point of contact, or they may offer you the opportunity to ask that question directly, but you got to ask your FPO first. Again, those are our regional project officers that are in the 6 regions. What our federal project officers do is they are a wealth of information on their own. So they don't, really, they come out with like libraries of brains and knowledge. So sometimes they can answer your question immediately without any further delay and get that question answered. However, if they can't answer that question, or they need some additional resources, they'll let us know and say, hey, this grantee needs some additional help. Can you get them some help? And then again, of course, we will ask the TA coach, or we ourselves will host a webinar or do a one-pager or do a call with you to make sure you get your technical assistance. When you do ask that federal project officer for technical assistance, we would encourage you to CC the YCC mailbox, ycc@dol.gov. It is not to keep the FPOs in check or to do any kind of follow-up with the FPOs. It is just so that we can know what kind of questions are coming in regarding issues that you all are having. Believe it or not, there are themes and patterns with technical assistance that we're hearing from our 24 grantees, and we keep seeing them over and over again, and we keep trying to put together technical assistance packages. But again, there still needs to be more additional help, and we need to know that as well. So we're not here to check the FPO. We trust the FPO. We work hand in glove with our FPOs. We just want to make sure that we know what the themes are with the needs of our grantees. I'm going to go through a little bit of the YCC background. Again, once again, about 3 or 4 years ago, over $100 million was given in grant funds to 24 grantees, and the goal here was to use H-1B funding to shape the classroom into a more inclusive learning environment, a smaller learning environment, putting young people in STEM careers or activities that will give them hands-on learning, give them opportunity to get internships and mentorships with other folks, giving them a different experience than what the rest of the class, rest of the school may have. Again, what is H-1B? Well, H-1B is funding that employers pay a fee to basically hire foreign workers to the States for a temporary part of time, because that worker who's a foreign worker has a specialty area that we can't find in the States, believe it or not. So this foreign worker may have an area, skill, education that we really need them to come here to help us with. And what we do is when that worker comes here, the employer has to pay a fee to bring that worker over and keep them here employed for a period of time. That worker then is, of course, supposed to educate the American workforce that's at that company, at that job, on the skills that they have so that they can go back home and then, again, help us improve our performance on our jobs. So the money that we paid for this grant was through the fees that these employers paid. And it was a lot of money because we gave out over $100 million. So you can see how much we had to pay or hire outside workforce. Basically, the YCC program is there to make sure our young people get a high school diploma, get dual enrollment opportunities, go to community colleges, get exposed to different working opportunities, get exposed to different learning opportunities with sciences and industry partners. And so it was supposed to be inclusive of that. So that's what we're here to do. The folks that won the money, it was a highly competitive grant. It was, I think, almost close to 100 grant applications, and they were mostly local high schools or local education agencies. Some of them were community colleges and also nonprofits as well. And the grantees were required to have the Workforce Investment System as a partner. Again, a high school system as a partner. Employers were a major partner, as well as 2-year or 4-year colleges as partners. There were 6 program elements, or core elements as we call them, as a part of this grant, and that grantees or applicants applied for, and that you all are working out right now. We're in our year 3, so many of you guys are already doing this stuff, but just to have a quick overview. Program element or core element number 1 was integrated academic and career-focused learning. This was, again, to take the classroom as a place to bring in a different type of curriculum, a different type of experience in, excuse me guys, I got colleagues in the background talking loud, so if you hear them, I'll talk a little bit louder. Angela, can you hear me okay? Angela, can you hear me? Okay. Wow. Curriculum, building, school setting, a smaller classroom, wraparound services. If a young person needed some support services or any more kind of intensive educational support, this is what this is called for that type of core element. Core element 2 was employer engagement. This was critical and crucial for our grant. This basically allowed the employer to be a major partner at the table to help shape the curriculum, to come to classrooms, do presentations, to bring the young people from the classroom into the employer workspace, to allow employers to act as mentors, to provide internships for our young people, to provide workplace experiences for our young people, and to really tell us, hey, I can't have a 14 or 15-year-old on my site because it's dangerous. However, I can help build or do a fun or engaging activity on campus, on school campus, that will kind of simulate a workplace environment experience for the younger youth. So again, this is an opportunity for employers to come to the table with educators. We also have core element number 3, again, career and academic counseling. This is one of my favorite parts of the grant. To have intensive or group setting counseling, to really plan out, thank you, Yolanda, to plan out their pathway. Of course, we know our young people are going to change their mind 55 million times. But for them to sit down and have an individual service strategy or individual development plan, as we call it in the YCC grant, was very, very important, so that they can kind of see, hey, if you want to be a nurse or if you want to be an electrician, we need to beef up that math. We need to get some of your more exposure to science. So again, this allowed a person or persons to work individually with young people or in a group setting to provide them this kind of one-on-one, intimate, intensive kind of career counseling that a lot of our young people do not receive because of lack of resources in our schools. So this is a really, for me, a very important part of the grant. We also have work-based learning. Again, the same thing about the employers providing those opportunities, the curriculum and the class sizes being smaller. This allowed, again, some innovation and creativity in the classroom for our YCC students that sets them apart from the rest of their classmates, right? So whether it's 10 young people or 90 young people, they may have wear a uniform, they may have a pin on their shirt, but they were unique and different, and they were kind of bragged about the fact that they were getting all this wonderfulness in the YCC program. Their parents were bragging about it, and everybody pretty much wants to be a part of this program in the school. That was our goal. This is some more information about that. Program sustainability. We all know, as I mentioned at the conference and that we've been talking about repeatedly, there probably will be we know for a fact there will be no more money for this grant. There's not going to be a reapplication. And if it is, it's going to be totally looking different, and it would not be the same that we know it today. With that being said, we want to make sure that you all are able to get training and plan out how you want to take elements of this program and continue it on in your schools past the final date of funding. So we have had a wonderful session during our last grantee meeting about program sustainability. You all are going back to the drawing board with your partners to look at the fact that, yeah, we can't really do the mentoring. We really weren't good with the mentoring because it kind of jacked us all up. We couldn't find enough people, but we really did great with internships, and we really want to keep this partnership with our employers to continue giving internships to 20 young people per year. Whatever that program sustainability looks like, we really want you to be successful, and we want you guys to start thinking about it now. We know we're about 2 years out, but this is how we start. Program sustainability starts very, very early, so we want to make sure that you guys have the tools to be successful with your plan. And lastly but not least, we have program performance and outcomes. You guys got taxpayer dollars, and therefore we have to have accountability for all of it. So therefore, we have to make sure that we explain how those dollars were used to provide the best efforts to our young people. And there's a ton of measurements and long-term. I'm going to skip through some of these. We have short-term measures. We have long-term measures about absenteeism and experiences in the workplace. Evan Rosenberg is our lead on performance, and many of you guys have met with him one-on-one. Many of you are a part of the participant tracking system group where those are putting in the data. They're learning about how to use that system, how to calculate and count the young people and their efforts. So therefore, we want to make sure that you are tracking your performance properly, and that, again, you're meeting your goals that you set forth in the beginning of your grant to make those needs. And some of you guys are doing very well. Some of you guys are struggling for no fault of your own because of other situations that are going on. So, again, we want to help you all to meet the goals that you set forward. And these are some more long-term skills. Allowable activities. Renee, I'm gonna take over this part, and then you can pick up in a second. Money can be spent on certain things, and we know they're called allowable activities. And believe it or not, there has been a lot of allowable activities you guys didn't know about. But we have, again, a financial officer that helps you guys understand. Of course, your FPO is your first line to talk about those allowable activities, whether it's purchasing computers or programs, or getting something you guys need as far as transportation. These are allowable activities. As long as your budget has it and you can realign, it's approved, you can do it. And a lot of that is given to you in this list here. And think creatively. Sometimes it's going to be rejected and sometimes it's not. So just letting you guys know there's a ton of stuff, especially staff development. Your coaches are there who are experts in the field, who can provide that staff development for you at no charge to you, because, again, we're paying the coaches to help you. However, if the coaches may not be able to help you and our other coaches can't help you and we can't help you, we definitely want you guys to get the training that you all need. So if you find something out there in the world that you believe is best, run it through your FPO, see if it can be approved, if it's outside of the budget purview, and or if you just want to talk it out and make sure it's okay to purchase, go ahead and do that. So, again, we want you all to be successful. And the grantees. Hold on a second. So, Renee, do you want me to keep going? You want to take over?
Oh, I'm here.
Do you want me to keep going?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, no, I'm here.
Okay, you want to take over?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, Renee Brown's going to take over from here, you guys, and I will talk to you guys in a bit.
Okay, so in this next section, we'll provide an overview of the grantees in the YCC program. There are 24 YCC grantees currently in the program with a cost per participant in the range of $2 to $3 million. This next slide shows a map of where the grantees are located throughout the country. As you can see, most of the grantees are in the East and Midwest. See here, the industry focus of YCC grantees is predominantly in healthcare, information technology, and manufacturing sectors. Eligible participants must be enrolled in high school or re-enrolled if they dropped out. The program is at no cost to the participant. Within YCC, there are different program model options with different entry points. However, programs must last no longer than 4 years. The majority of YCC programs are 4-year models, and it's interesting to note that 4 of the program extend beyond the 12th grade into post-secondary education. The participant tracking system, or PTS as we call it, is used to monitor participant enrollment and performance reporting. And as Mayusha mentioned, Evan Rosenberg is our YCC team lead and expert on performance reporting requirements and related issues. Evan works with the Mathematical Policy Research team, which provides technical assistance for the PTS. And for more information, please refer to the PTS or performance reporting. You may refer to the PTS handbook on the YCC Community of Practice. Targeted levels of performance have been set for each of the 15 performance measures, short and long term. Performance targets are designed to provide a sense of the success of the program. And on slide 35, we talk about data collection. The performance data is collected at the individual level through the PTS. And grantees track specific data elements, and the types of data elements are shown here in the slide. If you're interested in joining, the PTS users group meets on the second Wednesday of the month, and you can email the YCC account to be added to the list. There are 2 evaluations of grantee sites are currently being conducted by Mathematica Policy Research. One is an impact analysis of a selected number of schools using random assignment. The schools that were selected have been contacted. The second study is an implementation study, which is being conducted with all of the schools. And Molly Irwin is the BOL lead person for the evaluation studies. Handing this over to Angela to talk about the YCC Community of Practice.
Okay, so before we get started with Angela's walkthrough of the YCC Community of Practice, are there any questions for us? That was like a really fast 24-minute overview. And this is your opportunity. Again, a majority of you all on this call are brand new to YCC. This is your opportunity to get your questions answered that you may want to know a little bit more about, because we could take this time now to do that before Angela walks through our community practice. And again, we want to make sure that you use the community practice on a regular basis to get many of the one-pages that we've created, recordings to webinars that we've done in the past before you guys have got on board, and want some clarification on some stuff. So please, I also want to take a minute or two to ask you all, do you have any questions? And you can type them. Angela, they can type them in the Q&A section. Any questions coming in? No questions? Okay, guys. Well, I'm going to turn it over to Angela, who is going to talk about our community of practice. And we hope you all are registered on Workforce GPS. If you're not registered on Workforce GPS, please, 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 by the end of this call, make sure you do that, and we appreciate it. And so, Angela, please get started and let us know about the community of practice.
All right. Thank you, Maisha. I am going to take over. I'll turn my camera on for a little bit for all of you to see me. We are over here in some cubicles at the Department of Labor, so you can see all of our beautiful decorations here. We did get one question in. Will this PowerPoint be available for printing? Yes, the PowerPoint is available. Before the webinar started, we sent out an email that said handouts available. So on our community of practice, which we're about to go look at right now, there's links to download this PowerPoint as well as a second handout that we provided that is a list of all of the TA resources that we've created thus far throughout the program. So you can go back and if you want to search for something, whether it's mentoring or internships or your individual development plans that you have to create for students, all those resources are available and they've been loaded onto our community of practice. So now I am going to share my screen so that you all can see we're going to walk through the community practice and how to use it. So let me do that right now.
It's coming up, Angela. We can see your screen now.
All right, so here we are. If you do have questions, whether you want to enter them in the chat or the Q&A function, if you scroll up, take your mouse to the top of the screen, you'll see a little pop-down menu that you can reopen the chat boxes or the Q&A box, and you can enter questions. And after we're done with the walkthrough, we'll get back to those questions, whether it's something about the community of practice here, or we'll go back and answer questions about the program overall, all of the information that Renee and Maisha went through. So this is the landing page for the overall Workforce GPS. So several programs, whether they're grant programs or other programs at the Department of Labor, have what are called a community of practice, or they have a collection. So if you see here, there's two different tabs, communities, and that's everyone who has a community of practice. And there's just a little bit different, so we kind of name them differently, or a collection. So if you end up on the home page, I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to get to the Youth CareerConnect page. But as you can see, there's several other programs, Youth Connections, Youth Build you might be interested in, as well as Career Pathways. You can always go to other people's communities and check out their information. So we're going to go to Youth CareerConnect. So if you go to communities, you're going to scroll down to Youth CareerConnect. That's one easy way to find it. And you may want to bookmark this web address so that you can find it easily. Another thing that we're going to do while we're here is if you haven't already, at the top of the screen, you can log in or join now if you've not joined. And if you haven't, we strongly, strongly encourage you to do so. So I'm going to log in now. So you can see all of the functionality that is available on the Workforce GPS website. So before we get into all the resources that are available that we've posted on the YCC Community of Practice, a few things you're going to want to do when you start. So if you go to your own profile, so you're going to click on your name once you've created it, you're going to want to fill in all this information so that we know who you are. And then most importantly, you're going to want to go to My Memberships and Notifications. And this is why this is very important. When you start, when you sign up for a profile, none of these communities or collections will be checked for you. You have to go in and do it. So as you can see, Youth CareerConnect, you're going to definitely want to check this box and make sure the second one that says Email Digest is also checked. And what that does is for any of the communities or collections where you have an Email Digest checked, once a week, anything that's new that's posted, and the managers of each site will post things and tell it to send it out in an e-blast or what we call an e-alert once a week. So you'll get up to 1 email a week, no more than 1, and sometimes if we haven't posted anything new, I don't always click something to go out in that, but definitely when I put a new resource up, I tell it to send it out in the alert each week so that you get a notice of new resources that are available. For instance, when I put up today's webinar and posted the handouts and the webinar slides, I clicked on alert. So this morning, because they go out on Tuesday mornings, I would say early Tuesday morning, I got an email in my email box that said, hey, YCC has a new resource that they wanted to share. So I also suggest if you're interested in any of these other areas that you click on those as well. So maybe you want to know about apprenticeships, so you click on that and make sure that the email digest is clicked, hit save, and then you'll be getting any updates that happen on that page. Another cool thing that you can do, my content or my events, when you're in an actual resource, you can click on that and it'll save it for you so that then you can go back and easily find different resources on different communities of practice. So you don't have to go through searches. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go back to Workforce GPS, come to Communities, go down to the YCC page. So this is our landing page. Here on the landing page, there's some featured resources, you know, easy access to the discussion list, the blog list, and on the right, top resources and new resources. So anything that we put up new, if you're just curious if anything, since last time you were here, you go to the new tab over here and you'll see all these different things. So for example, the new to YCC orientation is here. So maybe you want to come over here. We were talking about downloading the slides. Once you're here on the Community of Practice, you can download the slides. You can download the YCC TA list with links, which I'm going to open that for you right now so that you can see what that is. So what we did, this is a PDF, and all of these are resources. Currently, they are sorted by the TA type. I'm going to post after the webinar so that it's sorted by topic area in case you want to look at things a different way. You can always do a control find in the document if you're searching for something specific. So there's several, we've done all of these several pages of resources so far just in the 2 years that the grant has been up and running. So anything you want to go back to, you click on this link and it'll take you to the Workforce GPS page where that resource is living. And anytime we make updates, it doesn't create a new link. So if you keep that link to a certain resource like the mentoring guidebook that we put together, any updates that we make, that link will stay the same and it'll just update the actual document or file on that page. So going back, we were at home. Now we're going to go to About. And this is just you probably know all this information. We actually just went over most of it in the webinar. So just a quick definition or explanation of what the Youth CareerConnect grants are. The blog. The blog is something we use to post articles or new information going on. A lot of these are linked to when we send out our newsletters once a month. And if you're not signed up for our newsletter, and you want to receive those, just send an email to the YCC mailbox, ycc@dol.gov, and I will make sure that you get connected and are on our distribution list. So for the blogs, you can go on here and click on the different resources that we've already posted or articles. You are also welcome to become a guest blogger or content contributor. If you have an article that you want to share or something that you've written, again, you're going to send that to the YCC email box, and we're going to work with you and we're going to get that information posted. We would love to have more content coming in. We're happy to share that with everybody. So keep that in mind. Also, something that you can do with our blogs here, at the bottom, if you scroll down, you can leave a comment. So type your comments in here. Tell us if you liked it. Maybe you want to ask a question or something. You can do that here by adding your comment to a blog. So the next tab over is discussion topics. So these are a little bit different, and we haven't really started using these yet, but the intent of these is so that you all can have conversations and share information with each other. So we just put some very basic topics in here, and you can go in here and leave some information. You can post a comment. You can reply to other people's comments. So we encourage you to use that, and if you want to see a new topic in here, just let us know. We'll add a new topic or a discussion information, or if you want to talk about an article, maybe you saw something somewhere else, or you have a question or need help with something, a TA topic, we can post that on here and other grantees can share information. So please keep that in mind here in discussion topics. And we can use this community of practice to do some more peer sharing and peer networking. Probably the most robust and important part, the place where you will be going most often, is the resource library. So when you come to the resource library here, these are all of the TA topics, whether it's a tip sheet, a guidebook, a webinar, handouts, anything that we've done thus far are posted here. And there's several ways you can see how to find items that you're looking for. My favorite shortcut is if you go to content types. Most of what we've done is listed as a resource. So you can click on resources and it's going to pull up a list of everything that we've done so far. Another thing that you can do is up here in the top right-hand corner, there's a search function. And while you are in the YCC Community of Practice, when you search, it searches in the YCC resource listings. If you're on the home page for Workforce GPS, it's going to search everyone. So you might get if you put in just mentoring, you might get something from YouthBuild or from another program. So just kind of be aware of that as you're searching for information. And you may want to look for YouthBuild for mentoring or other things that are going on. So as I said before, here's a listing of everything that we've done so far. So this is one way you can search. I will say, because YCC is a newer program, while this may seem like a lot of resources, it's actually not very many in comparison to some of the other programs like YouthBuild, as I've said, who've been around for a lot longer. They have several hundred resources. So we're sometimes lucky. It's easier to find things within our 2 pages of entries that we have so far. So anything that we've created, again, is up here, and you can click on it. And this is one session that we did, Grants and Financial Management, at the 2017 Grantee National Conference here in DC. So as you can see, for webinars, you can watch it from right here, or you can go to YouTube and watch the video. The presentation is here. The handouts are all here. All of the information that we've shared with you at any point, we have posted here on the Community of Practice. And you can also like this page by clicking on here, and that just lets us know that you like it. You can share by sending an email or sending a link, or maybe you want to tweet about it or put it on Facebook. I know a lot of you have social media that you're using to promote your program. So this is another way. The intent of this was to make it really easy to share, whether you want to print it or when you save this page up here, that's where it saves to your content. When you go back later, you can easily find those things that you really find useful and want to get back to easily. So I'm going to stop there. I think that's everything. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that we can get back to the Q&A and see what questions we have.
So are there any questions?
Yes. So we have a question.
Okay.
Sorry, let me scroll through all of them. Maisha and Renee, can you discuss the collection documentation of participant barriers such as homelessness, disabilities, et cetera? How should info be tracked in participant files if they don't disclose at enrollment?
That's interesting. So because you're in a high school, you have in-school youth. So it's not like some of this information may already be known through the school because the young person may have an IEP or individual education plan because they do have a challenge with maybe a learning disability, learning challenge, cognitive or physical, and there may be a challenge to learning. So this information may be something that is available through the school that you may have permission to put in your case file based upon the relationship that the school has with the program, what the parent may have signed that's okay to share with about the young person's efforts. If the young person doesn't disclose this information to you and you don't have it in your enrollment form, these are things that you may just have to chalk it up as just common knowledge, and it's not going to be in the young person's file. You can't force them to tell you that they're homeless, or you can't force them to tell you that they have a disability. They may choose not to disclose that information. But again, if you have a relationship, or if the YCC is working very hand in glove with the school counselor, that relationship may already be involved, where you know that this young person may have a challenge and they may need additional services. So again, it could be a part of your enrollment form that you ask. You can put it as a part of your enrollment form, or you can also, with the relationship with the school, get a copy of their IEP, or have access to their IEP. Sometimes it's very limited who can get that information, or just get information from the school counselor on that young person's issues or efforts with their challenges. And that's the only answer I have. And if anybody else.
Thank you, Maisha. Yolanda said thank you. And we had another question that came in. What's the difference between Youth Build and Youth CareerConnect? I was referencing Youth Build a lot.
Oh, because Angela's brain is totally fried at this point. It's okay. So Youth Build is another program that we have here at the Department of Labor under the Division of Youth Services. Youth Build is a program that has young people ages 16 to approximately a little bit over 20 who have disconnected from school, and they are now going into a program where they spend half of their day in a class, or half of their week, in a classroom, getting their high school equivalency or their high school diploma, and the other half they spend on a construction site building houses for community members in the area that they're going to the Youth Build program. It's non-residential, unlike Job Corps, which is residential. It's a non-residential program. It's about a 10-month program. A young person enters in around August or September. They spend 1 year in this program. They get some skills. They hopefully get their high school diploma within that time, and then they graduate, and then we enroll another set again. I forget how many Youth Build programs there are, but I think it's over 50 throughout the country. And so I guess Angela was calling it Youth Build, I guess referring to the Youth Build Community of Practice, but ours is, of course, Youth CareerConnect, which is an in-school program. That means our young people are in high school. They're not disconnected. They have not dropped out of school. They are currently enrolled in your schools, and they have become a part of your program either through some type of application process or enrollment process, or they were nominated, or they came up to you and tell you they wanted to be in your program, and that's the difference between those two programs. Youth Build was acquired from the HUD, from the Housing and Urban Development Department of Housing and Urban Development, approximately 6 years ago, and it's a long-term program. It's consistently funded, and they always are putting out FOAs. For funding announcements for those funds. Any other questions?
Any questions? This is your opportunity. You can type into the chat or the Q&A, which you should be able to find on the right-hand side of your WebEx platform screen. If you have any questions, please let us know. We have a few more minutes, several more minutes. This is your opportunity to ask questions. We know most of you are very new to these programs, and we want to make sure you have the information you need to be successful. So please send us in your questions.
Okay. Well, if there are no questions, and I know we went through everything really fast and quick and in a hurry, one thing we want to make sure you have the opportunity to do, if you have a question for us and it was not addressed, or you think later on tonight you're at home with the family or in the shower in the morning, you're like, oh, I forgot this question, you can always send it to us at ycc@dol.gov, and we will have that answer hopefully for you, or get that answer to you. Angela, do you want to share with any upcoming TA that's coming up for the grantees, upcoming months?
Yeah, we can share kind of an outlook. We don't have dates yet, but coming up we are going to be doing next month another grantee check-in call of sorts. We did one, geez, it's been at least six months now that we did it before, and then we talked about doing them quarterly, but we're going to do another one to give you all an opportunity to do some peer sharing, peer networking, sharing of ideas, getting your questions answered by each other from other grant programs to help each other out. So we will be sending out some information on that once we have a date. And if you have questions specifically that you want answered by each other, or you have something to share with the group, we'll be looking for that as well. And then after that, we're looking towards some career pathways training. So I know you've all have heard about career pathways. It's definitely part of what you're doing in the YCC program. So we're going to get into some training and some work groups on career pathways. So be looking forward to that as well. And we do have a few actually tip sheets and documents that we're going to be sharing. I'll be sending those out soon. I'll be posting them on the YCC Community of Practice. So make sure when you do go to that website, if you haven't already, sign up for an account and make sure you click on YCC as someone you want to receive e-alerts from, and you'll be the first to know that we have new resources when they come out, even before I send it out to the group through an email. So if you want to know about that, please do sign up for that, and make sure you sign up for at least YCC, but I encourage you to sign up for more than just YCC because there's a lot of really great information from other programs here at the Department of Labor.
I'm muted. I'm talking to the computer. Angela had to run over here and tell me you're muted. Hi, everybody. Again, if you have any suggestions on TA, please put them in the chat feature here or send an email so that we can address those needs that you have. We're here to help you. Please don't be shy. Please don't be afraid to contact us. Of course, through your chain of command, if it's somebody, a program director, to us or the FPO, always make sure your FPO is always CC'd or the questions directed to them first. Again, we work very closely with them. We want to make sure that they are in the chain of communication between us and you, and we are here to help you. So thank you for your time. We had 56 people on this webinar, which is huge. And I think it's like the largest webinar we've had in a while, Angela, if I remember. And I hopefully you guys are getting your feet wet out there. You're doing great work with our young people, and we look forward to all your successes. And I hope you guys have a great evening and a great week, and we'll be in touch shortly. Angela, you have anything to say?
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And again, like Maisha said, if you have questions, send them to us. We are happy to respond, quick to respond, and if we don't know the answer, we'll find it.
Bye, everybody.